Alright guys, so I'm out in the shop. Sorry about this, it's still in disrepair, but I got home and I noticed that my 3060 Ti Skytech pre-built computer was not mining. So I cut it off and cut it back on, and I wasn't getting hardly anything out of the display. It would show some green dots on the Windows loading, and then display would go away. So I now have a new cable and an entirely different display, and let's fire it up and show you guys what I'm talking about. So we'll let it boot up. It gets into it gets past BIOS, and it gets to where it's loading Windows, and then it shows some green dots, which leads me to believe it's possibly not hardware. I'm maybe leaning towards something corrupted on the driver's side of things, or potentially not enough power from the power supply. Some people said, I read some reviews on these pre-builts, preparing automatic repair because it shut down real weird. But apparently these have a underrated power supply in them. I don't know if that's the case, but if it does it again, I'll show you guys what I'm talking about, and then I'll just pull the GPU out and put it in another rig and see if the GPU is actually working. Yeah, well, it's looking like it might be software related, because now when it's trying to like diagnose and repair the computer, it seems to be running fine. But automatic repair, your PC did not restart correctly. Let's just hit, what about advanced options? Continue and exit and continue to Windows 10. Reset your PC and see advanced options. Can we do let you choose to keep or remove? Yeah, let's do a reset. Removes all your personal files, apps, and settings. I guess we'll remove everything. We'll do a reset this PC. How would you like to reinstall Windows? Hold on, give me a second. Let me go plug in Ethernet again. Alright, so I don't want to reinstall Windows just yet, so I'm going to turn it off and turn it back on. So power off, power on. It is a little warm out here. I still don't have actual electric in the garage, so that means there's no air conditioning, and we're in North Carolina with very high humidity, so I am definitely feeling it out here. I'd like to show you guys the issue I ran into before I show you the solution though. But my idea was that I was going to do a fresh install of Windows before I went any further. So okay, we're loading into Windows. Everything seems normal. And then wait for it. Wait for the little green dots. Might not do it this time. It might just freeze. We'll give it a second. Okay, I'm going to pause this and give it a few minutes. Alright, welcome back. I went outside and peed in the woods, and it's still not up. So I'm going to cut it off one more time and cut it back on, because I really wanted to show you what it was doing. It's like as soon as it loads into Windows and like loads the drivers up and stuff, something in there is not right, and it either can't draw enough power, or it's loading software incorrectly, probably software. So a new Windows install, I would imagine, would be the like fix for that. But just to make sure that the GPU is good, I will pull the GPU out of here and slam it down into a mining rig, because if we put it into a whole nother system and the GPU doesn't show up and actually work, then I know we have a problem with the old GPU. Oh, it's wanting to automatic repair again. Alright, so let's go to advanced options, and we'll just hit continue. See if we can get that that symptom of the old green dots to pop up, because apparently our RTX 3060 Ti's, a lot of people are having issues with their cards green dotting. Sorry for the long video here, guys. There it goes. That's what I wanted to show you guys. So yeah, a bunch of green dots, and then it locks up on a black screen, and it will not do anything from this point. So before I reset this computer and reinstall Windows and do all that, I'm gonna pull this graphics card out just to make sure that it is working. So bear with me. Alright guys, so I couldn't find a screwdriver because everything's packed up in a box, but it hit me. I had another idea. I'm like, I could just plug one of my Hive USB drives in here and boot this into Hive on Linux and see if it'll mine that way. So that would rule out the operating system or my Windows install as being an issue. I boot into BIOS and it has no problems in BIOS, and the display is still plugged into the graphics card. It's not a perfect example because this is running like a basic display adapter driver, but it is running, so it's not completely dead. That's a good sign. Cross your fingers. Now, I plugged in that USB drive. Now we just have to set the boot to whatever that USB drive is. I think it's that one. Maybe. Okay, so it should try to boot to those USB drives before it boots to that PNY. Actually, we'll just turn that off so it will not boot to that PNY drive, where you're gonna go F10, save, and then see if this thing boots up in Hive. And yeah, that'll at least give me a good indication of, is this graphics card junk, and is that why this system was so cheap? But I don't imagine that being the case, because they were selling tons of these on Amazon, and most of them had pretty decent reviews. So I actually had to look to find some with bad reviews. A lot of people said that the power supplies were the issue. I don't think that's actually the issue. Well, there we go. We're starting into Hive. We'll let that bad boy... Oh, I need to plug in the old Ethernet. There we go. Sorry about that. No signal. Huh. Let's see what happened there, because I was plugging the Ethernet in. Maybe let's restart it. We may actually have a bad GPU. I don't think that's the case though. You know what I mean? It just doesn't seem like it would be. By the way, guys, I apologize for this long, drawn out. I'm probably going to try to cut up as much as I can out of this video, but long, drawn out, you know, breakdown here. But hopefully I can get to the bottom of why it's doing the green dots. So, yeah, just, I guess, come along for the ride. There we go. We're booting into Hive. This is a Linux operating system on that USB drive. So this software is completely independent of the SATA hard drive. It's automatically going to boot into Hive in 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's odd. Most of the time it'll give a display output and actually show something. But it's been, I've had some that won't. So let me log into Hive real quick and I will be right. Oh, look at that, the green dots. We may have a bad GPU, ladies and gentlemen. The next step is definitely for me to pull it out of this machine and see if it'll run good in another machine. So I'll be right back. All right, so I did pull the GPU out. I mean, it looks really good. Like, definitely doesn't look like it's been used for any extent or any period of time. But yeah, so I have a rig over here. It's running a few cards. I guess I'll pull probably this one on the end off, and then I'll plug it in. See if we can't get her to boot up. All right, so we got her plugged in. We got the 8 pin plugged in the top, and let's go ahead and I'll hit the power and fire this bad boy up. So fans come on, little RGB comes on. Oh, fans are actually off, but that's normal because like I have a 1660 over there and those fans are off. So I'm gonna let this boot in and see if it comes online and see if this actually works. This should have plenty of power. I'm running off of a server power supply, so that might be an indication of if it works on this machine and it doesn't work on that other machine, might be power supply, motherboard, something along the lines of that. So cross your fingers, hope that this graphics card is still good, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, this really sucks. The 3060 Ti shows up in here and it doesn't do anything, so I was like, well, let me burn a fresh one. So I broke out the old etcher. I downloaded a fresh copy of Hive, just got it running on this. It's on a if I go back up, it's on, if it'll load, I just named it test with the, it's got one of the newest versions. Where are we at here? OS version. This was new as of 2 days ago. So yeah, we shouldn't be having any issue here. I did force a driver update. That didn't do anything, so that kind of sucks. All these cards don't have any overclocks either, so there's no issues of like, oh, it's running bad because of overclocks. No, there's no overclocks at the moment. So yeah, that just kind of really blows. Yeah. Does anybody have any recommendations before I return this thing? It is still in the return period for Amazon. I'm gonna put it back in the original computer, obviously, but yeah, it just kind of sucks to come home to a dead card that's not even a week old. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Yeah, I guess I'll see you on the next one.